I'm not the smartest. I'm not the brightest. I may not have all the best information, but I'm going to outwork you, and you would have to kill me to get me to stop chasing my dream. Have you made that decision? You don't need to know a little more. You need to execute a little more. You need to get after it. You need to make some mistakes. Perfection is the lowest possible standard. Quit trying to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. The best people I know in business, they take action when they don't know everything. They learn what they can and they go execute. They make a mess. You need to embrace the mess. Embrace the chaos. You're never going to know everything you think you need to know. That's why my low IQ, and I'm not kidding when I say that, is to some extent an advantage. I don't think about all the stuff I don't need to know. You take action. The Lord has a way when you step into a new space of revealing to you the people, places, resources, and things you need in that space, and you go from there and you go to the next one.
Here's the time to act. When the idea is hot and the emotion is strong. That's the time to act. Action pronto. Action immediate. Action as soon as possible. Because if you don't, here's what happens. We call it the law of diminishing intent. We intend to when the idea strikes us. We intend to when the emotion is high. But now if you don't translate that into action fairly soon, now the intent starts to diminish. And a month from now it's cold. A year from now, it can't be found. So act. Set up a discipline when the emotions are high and the idea is strong and clear and powerful. That's the time to set up the discipline.
I have a great friend of mine named Carl Edwards, who was a NASCAR driver. I sponsored his car for a number of years. And he said the scariest thing in NASCAR is when there's a crash in front of you, we are trained to drive right into the smoke. If you look at the wall, you run into it. You cannot even look at the wall, you pull the steering wheel into the wall. So when there's a crash at 215 miles an hour and there's smoke everywhere, we are trained to drive right into the smoke. Can you imagine that? Imagine the fear level of driving into the smoke at 200 miles an hour when you know there are crashed cars in front of you. That's what you do as a driver to win. That's what you do as an entrepreneur to win. That's the difference. Knowledge equals execution and speed. Next thing you need to do, you need to stop negotiating the price tags in your life. The fact of the matter is that when I was struggling, I was constantly negotiating whether it was worth it. Is it worth it? I'm away from my family. It's costing me money. I had to come to this seminar. Is it when you're negotiating the price you're paying all the time? Does that sound familiar to you? Yes or no? Or the people around you are negotiating the price you're paying all the time. When I was poor and broke, when I would walk into a store, we all relate to this, I didn't look at what I wanted, I looked at price tags and I flipped them over. What's it cost? What's it cost? What's it cost? What's it cost? I can get that one. When I looked at a menu, what's it cost? What's it cost? I'll get that. People who come from scarcity and are poor thinkers are constantly negotiating price. Wealthy people, there's a thin veil. They negotiate worth. There's a difference between cost and worth. Is what I'm doing worth it? Is what I'm doing worth it? Not what's it costing me. In fact, the price you will pay for not winning is infinitely greater the rest of your life than the price you will ever pay to win. But you're negotiating it too often. You're vacillating. It takes your energy. It strips your focus. For most people, their will to win is for sale. For most people, with enough failure, enough setbacks, enough adversity, you can buy them. They will relent. They will sell their dream. They'll sell their kids. They'll sell their future. This is the truth. You remember I said this to you because you're going to face this moment. There's going to be a point in time in your life where what you know is not enough. And if you're me, when I arrive at those points, I got to find something higher than me to pull me through. And you're going to have to rely on your faith and the decision you've made where you've negotiated the price in advance before it hits. Because for most people, enough of that, they'll relent. Yeah, it just wasn't for me. I learned all this stuff, just the timing was right. Or, you don't know about where I live. Where we live, this stuff doesn't work. And you sell your dream. And what you do when you do that is you sold your children's future. You've sold your own future. You've relented and you've given in. I want you to think about that. Because when you go, nah, it wasn't for me. No. That's the easy way out. Nah, I decided I'm not going to pay that big a price for my grandkids' future. I've decided I don't want to really retire my parents. I've decided I don't really want to be somebody. I've decided all this stuff I say about who I want to be and what I want and all that other stuff, I kind of want it, contingent on it's not too hard. And that's what most entrepreneurs do. In fact, in a year, of the 500 people here, there will be several hundred of you who have already sold your family down the river. And I say that to you so that you can begin to negotiate the price in advance. I love you. I want you to win. I want to see you prosper. I want to see magic happen for you. And if you don't, while you're at this meeting, all the notes, all the logistics, make a decision that no matter how big the price gets, as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, I'm going to pay it. I've negotiated advance. My will to win, my family's dreams, my future is not for sale.